Thank you, George. You're absolutely right in acknowledging the necessity, the reality of the one state project. It actually brings the Workers' Party, in my view, to the forefront of the Palestinian resistance, in that it actually represents the Palestinian position better than the Palestinian administration does. The one state idea is based on what Palestine has always been, actually, a place of welcoming, a place where Jews, Christians, Muslims have lived together side by side for centuries. They didn't even have the necessity for the border security state that now exists because the idea was welcoming. And so what we are doing is calling back for what has always been true for Palestine. And acknowledging that, as you said very eloquently, George, that the two state is actually the unicorn here. The one state is not. The two state, it is a figment of people's imaginations. There is no two state. It is an ethno-nationalist death cult that is eradicating the indigenous people and has been doing so for decades. It is not just eradicating the people, it is eradicating the landscape, it is destroying the natural habitat. It is, in my view, and I mean this literally, it is a parasite in that it pretends to be its host. It sucks life out of its host and drains it for all it's worth, and carries on destroying it and pretends to be it. That is the nature of Zionism. It plants itself. And I think in the first place, it did that to the Jewish religion by posing as a spokes representative for the Jewish people. It is not that. It masquerades as Jewish, but nothing could be more treacherous to the actual teachings of the religion. It then supplants itself in Palestine and commits ethnic cleansing of the indigenous people and pretends that it is them. And now it is a parasite on all Western allies that have put themselves in their ship. We see the Western states tearing up basic norms of international law, basic norms of international customs. What won't they do to protect Israel? So it is tearing up everything that it relates to. So it needs to be addressed for what it is, a sick ideology that is based on race supremacy and has obviously now been eradicating literally everything around it. What I will say, though, George, the one-state solution is the right solution. It is an urgent solution, but there is one step towards that is perhaps even more urgent, which is that, in truth, Israel is exterminating everyone in Gaza. It is committed ideologically to that. It cannot stand the existence of the Palestinian people, and therefore it is in the mode of extermination or expulsion, right? And we see that there are hundreds of trucks of food and aid all around Gaza, and yet on the other hand, we see emaciated children. We need to get into the mode now where we understand Israel for what it is. We've had 22 months, and those of us who've been following Palestine and Israel for longer have known for a long time that Israel cannot be negotiated with. The Palestinian resistance has known this, has been trying to inform us of this. Israel cannot be negotiated with. It is peak violence. It is hell-bent on eradication. So we need to get out of this frame of mind where there's ceasefire discussions or there's notions that there's going to be some resolution or some summit that might take place. They are eradicating the Palestinian people, and there is therefore an urgent imperative, a legal obligation, in fact, of a military intervention. I think a lot of the people, perhaps on the left, are anti-war, as I am, have shied away from this because of the history of imperialism. But what we also need to do is grapple with reality, which is that unless these food trucks are delivered urgently tomorrow, in fact, yesterday, to the people, then they will all die, right? So, in fact, this call for a military intervention, it is not just a humanitarian and moral imperative, but it is actually what international law says should happen. When we acknowledge that there is a genocide, actually, there isn't a more universally adopted and agreed norm in the world that we should prevent genocide. And that includes an obligation to take military action to stop it. So we have been in the frame of mind primarily within the Palestine activist camp of boycotts, divestments, and sanctions, and these are crucial, but they are ultimately a way of reducing our own complicity in the project, which is necessary. But we also need to proactively stop the extermination. We have seen attempts made by civilians like the Freedom Flotilla. I was on the march to Gaza where we tried to get to the border. More of these flotillas are coming, and Israel is simply either bombing them or kidnapping the people on board. Therefore, we need to get in. We shouldn't go there with the attitude that we're going to get arrested. We need to go there with the attitude that we're going to get in and break the siege to implement a no-fly zone. Basic requirements. Israel is going to carry on killing until this happens. And no point in talking about one state if the eradication happens, right? So we need that is the urgent imperative. So I founded the Protect Palestine campaign, and it's been very clear in the response to the campaign that has been what most people are feeling is the right course of action, but we need to now channel that into political mobilization. And the Workers' Party, obviously receptive to the demands of the Palestinian people, have said one state is the right solution. We also need leadership, I think, on the call for a military intervention as well. But look, we need to be true to the ideals of what we stand for. We are anti-racist. We are anti-apartheid. We believe in the idea that there is fraternity at the core between humanity, and that there is scope, there is hope for a better future, and therefore we must call for a one state. That is the only thing worth fighting for. And that is what the Palestinians, especially those involved in the armed resistance, have always acknowledged is the right way forward.